Dr. Pooja, I started YouTube streaming now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm pasting the link in the chat box that you can circulate.
I will need help. Like, can someone kind of educate me a little bit, like when I have to talk and when I have to summarize as a chair?
So we'll let you know. Like, I'll be moderating this session, and I shall call upon your name, and we'll give you time for that. And if you want, prior to the session, I can tell you then.
Yeah, right. Just tell me, because I'm on different time zone. So I want to know at what time I will be presenting and what time I will be summarizing as a chair. So I don't want to flip-flop.
Okay. So like, when I'm going to start this session, I shall introduce you. At that time, of course, you'll be there. And after your introduction is made, then I'll be introducing the co-chair also.
Okay.
And then there will be overview of the plenary session, which will be say about 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
And after that 5 to 7 minutes, you will be addressing the audience. So it is addressed by the chair soon after the overview of the plenary session, which should not take overall, if I say, not more than 10 minutes after the session starts.
Okay.
And after your address, sir, I'll be introducing the co-chair, and then the paper presentations will start, and of course you'll be there to judge them, and along with the co-chair. So both of you will be there when the presentations go. So we have 7 presenters today in this session who will be presenting. So after all the presentations are over, complete, then sir, I'll request you to when the presentation is over, there will be a summary of this session, which will be read by the co-chair. And after that, sir, the closing remarks by the chair, that is you.
Okay.
That's it. So I think as soon as we start, it will not take a lot of time. You will not have to wait for a very long time after that. But the only thing is that let us begin the session first.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Pooja, make me co-host.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, you are the co-host now. पूजा मैम, आपने लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग कर दी है स्टार्ट?
Yes, ma'am. I have done live streaming. I have done.
YouTube.
So should we start, ma'am? Because it is 5:34 now.
I think we should start.
We should start, ma'am.
So, may I seek the permission
sir,
from
is
the chair
available?
and co-chair to start the
Yes,
program?
yes.
Okay, thank
सर
you.
की परमिशन लेंगे गणेश सर की.
हाँ जी.
Yeah, yes, yes, please go
Respected
ahead.
sir,
Please go
may I
ahead.
have the
Yes,
permission?
yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and delegates of Ctpdcon-Era 2023, the first virtual international e-conference on educational reforms and advancements, organized by the Council for Teachers' Professional Development, CTPD, in collaboration with its organizing partners, K.R. Mangalam University, Gurugram, Haryana, India, Galgotias University, Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh, India, Saraswati College of Professional Studies, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, India, Satyug Darshan Institute of Education and Research, Faridabad, Haryana, India, DAV PG College, Dehradun, Uttarakhand, India, and Azad College of Education, Satara, Maharashtra, India. We are profoundly happy to associate as our conference knowledge partners with Vishwa Yuvak Kendra, New Delhi, India, Human Touch Foundation, India, Social Development and Research Foundation, India, Council for Teacher Education Foundation, CTEF, India, Policy Research Center, Bangladesh, and our publication partners of national and international recognition, EZ Education Publishing, Redshine Publications, and International Journal of Education and Allied Sciences. I am Dr. Balbir Kaur, Associate Professor, HOD B.Ed Department, School of Education, Sri Guru Ram Rai University, Dehradun, Uttarakhand, India. And it's a great honor for me to be the moderator for this educative technical session of Ctpdcon-Era 2023 Track 1 on the theme Indian Knowledge Systems, Integration and Internalization. Track number 1 is running parallel in 4 groups, and the esteemed distinguished members are part of those subtracks. Track 1 focuses on the theme Relevance of Indian Knowledge System in the Present Knowledge Systems. The sub-themes of this technical session 1.3 of Track 1 are Scope of Indian Knowledge System, Indian Knowledge System in National Education Policy 2020, Indian Knowledge System Innovations and Practices, Atmanirbhar Bharat and Indian Knowledge System, and Modern Society and Indian Knowledge System, Challenges and Remedies. Today's session is all about the relevance of Indian knowledge system in the present knowledge systems. This track is dedicated to exploring the rich tapestry of Indian knowledge systems and their integration into the global educational landscape. Attendees can expect in-depth discussion on how Indian knowledge systems can be leveraged to create a more holistic and culturally inclusive educational experience worldwide. We have eminent speakers and paper presenters who shall be sharing their expertise and insights in this field. I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed chair, Dr. Ganesh V. Halliday, Associate Professor, Division of Cardiovascular Sciences, Department of Medicine, University of South Florida, and co-chair, Dr. Vandana Shivaji Rao Nalawade, Principal Azad College of Education, Satara, for gracing us with their presence and leading this significant session at Ctpdcon-Era 2023. I extend a warm welcome to the convener of Track 1, Dr. Jugnu Khattar Bhatia, Principal, Satyug Darshan Institute of Education and Research, Faridabad. And I also extend my warm welcome to the co-convener of Track 1, Dr. Reena Unyal Tiwari, Associate Professor, Department of Teacher Education, DAV PG College, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. I feel honored to introduce you to Dr. S.C. Pachauri, Program Director, North Zone CTPD, India. Professor Pachauri had been working as teacher educator for the last 22 years. Presently, he is serving as Professor and Dean in Faculty of Education, Motherhood University, Roorkee, Haridwar, Uttarakhand. PhD degree have been awarded to 8 scholars under his esteemed guidance, and he is presently imparting guidance to 4 more PhD scholars. He had been invited as a resource person in online and offline seminars, webinars, FDPs, and workshop sessions from time to time. He is the chief editor of an international journal of education and allied sciences and Educational Vision, a journal of education. He has published 7 books, 42 research papers, and articles in various journals of national fame, and has presented more than 3 dozen papers in various national and international seminars, workshops, and conferences in India. He is a life member of different professional associations related to teacher education like AIATE, CTEF, and CTPD, and IATE New Delhi, etc., and is presently National Coordinator of Council for Teacher Education, CTEF. He has been Program in charge of B.Ed IGNOU at Study Center 3732P, Dehradun. He is also associated with NGOs of social organizations. May I request and invite you, sir, to please present an overview of the plenary session 1.3. Dr. Pachauri, sir. Pooja ma'am, has Dr. Pachauri sir joined us?
Dr. Balbir, I am here for the overview of plenary session.
Right, ma'am.
Okay.
So,
as per schedule. Yes.
So Dr. Pooja ma'am will be presenting an overview of the plenary session 1.3.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Balbir. I am here to present the overview of plenary session. So the plenary session on the relevance of IKS in the present knowledge system that aims to explore the multidimensional aspect of indigenous knowledge system and their significance in contemporary society. And this session delves into the scope of IKS and its incorporation into the National Education Policy 2020 and innovation and practices which are associated with IKS and its role in achieving Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliant India, and the challenges faced by modern society in integrating IKS along with potential remedies. The session will explore how IKS extends beyond traditional medicines and agriculture to include a rich tapestry of practices which are related to sustainable living, resource management, and community resilience. And the session will also discuss the specific provision of the NEP that support this endeavor and highlight the potential impact on the preservation and propagation of IKS. And also here the attendees will also gain insight into how IKS has led to this ingenious solutions in various fields like traditional medicine and sustainable agriculture and natural resource management. And the session will also explore how IKS play a crucial role in achieving self-reliance by harnessing traditional knowledge to boost local economies, promote indigenous industries, and reduce dependency on the foreign technology and practices. So in the final part of this plenary session, the challenges that modern society faces in integrating IKS will be thoroughly discussed. And in conclusion, I'd like to say that the plenary session on the relevance of IKS in the present knowledge system that aims to foster a better understanding of the importance of this Indian knowledge system and its role in shaping a sustainable and self-reliant future. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Balbir.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am, for a very brief and clear overview of the plenary session. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. I consider it my honor to introduce our esteemed chair, Dr. Ganesh V. Halliday, an associate professor at the University of South Florida in the Division of Cardiovascular Sciences, Heart Institute. Sir began his academic journey with a PhD from the Institute of Chemical Technology, formerly UDCT. Following this, he pursued postdoctoral research at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio, first with Professor Gabriel Fernandez on nutritional immunology, and later with Professor Mary Lindsay on obesity-related unresolved inflammation after heart attacks. In 2013, Dr. Halliday established his research laboratory at the University of Alabama at Birmingham and moved to USF in January 2020. His team investigates fatty acids, lipooxygenase enzymes, bioactive lipids, and receptors in the transition from heart attacks to heart failure. Dr. Halliday has received numerous awards, including the Barbara Bauman Award and Pittman Scholar Award. He also secured NIH funding for inflammation resolution signaling research and actively served in grant review process. His primary research focus is understanding the balance of intrinsic and extrinsic factors in healing after heart attacks to delay heart failure. The ongoing work at the Halliday Lab advances our knowledge of cardiovascular inflammation and develops novel strategies for cardiac health, including prevention, prognosis, personalization, and precision therapies. I welcome you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you
Please
so much.
Please accept this virtual memento as a token of gratitude from the organizers of the conference. With your guidance, we are confident that this session will be a resounding success, leaving a lasting impact on all participants. May I invite Dr. Ganesh Halliday to deliver his address.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kaur and the esteemed organizers over here. I'm really delighted and pleased with the honors and the momentum. And this is a great initiative that how we can integrate the traditional system into the knowledge. So here, as a chair of this beginning session, I will share my thoughts more focused on the cardiac science that what I'm doing here in the US. But I'm also integrating with the Indian traditional knowledge. And I'm just going to share my slides and so that you will get idea what I'm kind of trying to impose. It has a lot of science, but I'm just kind of try to make in a way. Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm not able to. You see it, but I don't see it. Let me see if I can. Can you see now? Okay. You see the slides?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. All right. So here is the one. So Indian traditional knowledge, science and spirituality in the cardiac health. So when we are talking about the cardiac health, the first thing, why we are talking about the cardiac, because this is the first organ which defines our existence on the planet. As the heartbeat starts, we can tell that somebody is going to come, but its last beat defined the exit from the planet. So, the heart is extremely, extremely important, but it's very responsive to the various factors, like intrinsic factors and the extrinsic factors. So the intrinsic factors, I will tell down the line, which is coming from the fat every day, what we are eating. But what is that extrinsic factor we are talking, and what is the connection of these extrinsic factors to Indian traditional knowledge? So these two components will be more focusing. The heart operates electrically, mechanically, and physiologically to provide the nutrients to the all parts of the body. So that's more over the heart. So if you see the ABCD of the life or the heart, it applies to the whole life as well as the heart. So ABCD means between the B and D, there is a C, means birth and death is a choice. So what are the choices we are talking, and how the Indian traditional knowledge help us to select those choices? Can we take some part from our Indian traditional knowledge? And I believe so, yes. And we will be seeing down the line. So this is just to give you the perspective. If we see in the cardiovascular disease or chronic diseases, those are the #1 killer, not only in the US, but all over the world. Out of 10, 6 people have one risk factor, either hypertension, obesity, or diabetes, and 2 people out of 10 have more than 2 problems. So overall, just in the US, it's costing like $4.1 trillion, and it's all bottoms to the risk factors coming from your, poor diet, lack of physical activity, or your kind of fancy use of alcohols or tobacco. This is one of the main part that what I study in the lab is the inflammation, which is more scientific, but here I'm trying to conveying and connecting to our extrinsic factor, what we do every single day. So now, if you are getting the advice, hey, don't eat fat, don't eat salt and glucose, but question is, are they wrong? What is the wrong with that? The question is, it has a lot of things to do with your genes, transcriptome, proteome, heart, and those are scientific components. But the question is, are these components are really helpful for the body? But the question is, what is the right dose? So anything is differentiate from the medicine and poison is the right amount. Are we losing the track of that right amount? And that same thing applies to your salt, sugar, and fat, as well as all the choices what you make in a life. So how this is relevant to Indian traditional knowledge. And now here is the one. This is the chapter 7 and the verse number 8 in Bhagavad Gita. What is written? Ayu sattva bala arogya sukha prativivardhana rasya snigdha sira hridaya satvika priya. So what kind of food we are talking about that is necessary for the heart? Ayu, which has a life, sattva means it has a proteins, bala is strength, arogya, sukha prativivardhana means the food which has a life, and 3 types. We need solid, semi-solid, as well as a liquid. All these 3 fruits are need, and that is called as a sattvic priya. Means for the heart, we need to supply with the sattvic food. And sattvic food means what? Majority times fruits and vegetables and grains. But nature also gives some, even the chemicals, but those chemicals in the fruits are present, those are harmless. Or all these fruits, vegetables, and the grains are more acceptable to the heart. And this is the types of food we are classified according to the Indian traditional knowledge. One is a sattvic food, another is a rajasic food, and tamasic food that drives eventually sattvic guna, rajasic guna, and tamasic guna. And this picture, is very well versed to all of you how we can use selectively which diet. Now, why the fat is a problem and fat is not a problem, or when fat will be the problem and when it will not be the problem. So when the fat is in the right amount, usually in our current sedentary lifestyle, 1 to 3% is absolutely fine. But if we are taking more than 3%, then it will be a problem if we have a sedentary lifestyle. This is the most fundamental study done by one of the scientists in 1920. When they completely removed from the fat from the animal diet, that time those rats were not serving longer. They didn't have the babies and they have a skin problem. It means the fat is very essential. This is just the survival course showing that they will die earlier if they don't eat the fats. Means the fat is extremely important for the health and producing the baby. So what we did, we asked the question that is there a cardiac repair possible in the mice? But in the mice, there are two different things. When we are talking about the mice, their coronary artery is completely clean. But whereas the people as on today, if we search our coronary artery, we will find at least 10 to 15% of a blockage due to age or because of lifestyle habits. And we confirm by using scientific methods that even the mice having this much very strong chronic heart failure, they are moving perfectly fine. It means after the very chronic heart failure, the mice can move perfectly okay. So what that means, it means even though there is a heart failure, but this is not possible in the humans because they are not able to maintain their coronary arteries like this because of lifestyle. What are those lifestyles? This is, we have answered a very, elegant way that what is the root cause of chronic inflammation, or this is the problem for many diseases. You can take or name it where our immune system is involved. And those 4 intrinsic factors is your diet, and those are beyond your control. You cannot control them. But other 3 factors, I will be saying those are controlling these 4 factors. These 4 factors is your diet. Your first one is the fat, which quality of the fat you are taking. Then the enzymes, which is using it, and it forms number of small molecules inside the body, which you cannot control, and it acts on very specific receptor, which serves as a lock. And we have published in the form of papers. You don't worry about that. Only focus on these 4 components that you cannot control. Now, one most easiest study, but it looks very complex. What we did, we put the mice on the high-fat diet and the control diet, and then disrupted their sleep, putting in the chamber. Means we didn't allow those mice to sleep. What will happen after the heart attack? Those mice will not produce the molecules which is required for healing. So if you focus on here, those smaller dots are the molecules coming from the good fat to heal our body, whether it is heart attack, liver injury, even any injury. So this helps for healing our process. So it means if we disrupt our sleep, or if we don't sleep on time, the body will not produce these molecules. In contrast to that, if the mice are sleeping on time and they don't have sleep problem, then they are making these molecules, suggesting that there is a cardiac repair process if we balance our sleep. That is, we experimentally prove in the mice. So in short, when we don't have any risk factor of less sleeping, then we can heal better. But if we are not sleeping on time, then we will not heal better. This is experimentally proved and published in the scientific article. So what we do in the science? In the science, we get huge amount of data, we get huge amount of information, knowledge, but that knowledge needs to convert into the wisdom. And there is a really big wall converting that knowledge into the wisdom and the application. So all these number of papers, I converted in the 3 forms, like which are the most important 3 components is for keeping our health, and those are responsible for those intrinsic factors. So the diet, sleep, exercise. Now, most of the time we say that diet, you are what you eat. Now is equally important is the sleep and exercise. We very rarely think about the sleep and very rarely think about the physical activity or exercise or work. But this is not mine. This is from Yukta Ahara Viharasya Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu Yukta Swapnao Bodhasya Yoga Bhauti Dukkha, which is chapter number 6, verse number 17, Bhagavad Gita. If you balance these three components, then you will be free from all disease. Yoga bhavati dukkha. These three words indicates you will be free. And that's what we all are talking about. But we are generating huge amounts of data. So our diet, sleep, and exercise equally responsible for our total health. So here is the key. This is what coming from the American Heart Association. Can you remember all those 8 components? And this has a blood glucose, blood lipid, blood pressure, and lipids. So all these 4, but again, there is the key component. Here is the sleep, here is the exercise, and here is the diet. So my question is, can you remember all those 8 components? Questionably, yes and no. And of course, you have to prevent the harmful, risky substances like alcohol or smoking. Now, I have simplified this version into the easiest way. So these are the most factors. You don't have to remember 8. I would ask you to remember only 3. One is your diet, your sleep, and exercise. If you balance these only 3, you don't have to worry of your body weight, glucose, lipids, then blood lipids, blood glucose, and blood pressure. So you will be free from downstream product. But imagine if you are not balancing your diet, exercise, and sleep. This is exactly 33% for the diet, 33% of the exercise, and 33% of the sleep. You cannot compensate one or the other. Oh, I will over focus on diet and I will ignore the sleep, or I will over focus on exercise or ignore the diet. We need to balance exactly, and then only. Imagine if you are imbalancing them. If you are imbalancing them, you got to have a disease. If any person is using tobacco, he got to have a cancer. The same thing, if you are imbalancing the diet and sleep and exercise, you got to have a disease, whether it's heart disease or any type of disease. And these all others are just confounders. If you add more them, then you will go more faster to the disease. So the formula for the health and disease is very simple, just the diet, sleep, and exercise. So is it mine? Yes or no? You can say both ways, but this is what he has said. This is the father of preventive cardiology. He was the cardiologist for the US president back in then, and he was one of the founder of American Heart Association. What he says walk more, eat less, and sleep more. Exactly those same three things, the diet, sleep, exercise. Can we connect this back to our Indian traditional knowledge? What is that? Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. If you balance diet, sleep, and exercise, that's real yoga, not only the positions of the yoga. And if you imbalance them, that's a bhoga. And that definitely going to take it to the roga, that's called as disease. And this we have scientifically proved how the diet, sleep, and exercise impair your internal fatty acids used by different enzymes by immune system, forms small molecules, and change the receptor biology which is present on the immune cells. And if you are imbalanced, then definitely you are going to stress out because you are taking wrong diet, you are not sleeping on time, and you are not active. That is at a very molecular level. It is a changing, damage, pathogen, lifestyle, and aging associated molecular pattern, and your immune system is completely messed up. So that's why you will go to the disease. And if you are balancing these 3, you will stay healthy. So I will summarize here. The coordination of the 4 intrinsic factors depend on 3 intrinsic factors. And the real yoga is a balance of 3 extrinsic factors, which is diet, sleep, and exercise. And that prevents series of disease that I want to connect with our Indian traditional knowledge system, which is chapter number 6, verse number 17, is Yukta ahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, Yukta swapna bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. That will be the one of the topmost formula to keep us healthy, not the Indians, but all over the world, anyone who want to use it. The key question is application. With this one, I will take opportunity to thank you, all of you and everyone joining. And I look forward to this symposium and learning more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I am amazed to see the Indian system knowledge, and it is all compiled with the scientific knowledge. The things that you told us about the ABC, B, C, and D, that is birth, choice, and death, and as well as yoga, bhoga, and roga. So
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate. Hope it is clear. Sorry, it was too much dense at the science level. I tried to.
I'm asking the audience to put up questions if you have any. Do you have any questions to ask anybody? Sir, I have one question. Now, since our lifestyle has changed to such an extent that sleeping early is like, it has become very difficult. Previously, people used to sleep early and wake up early. But nowadays, the thing has become like this, that you sleep late and then waking up early in the morning is not possible. You said that if we don't balance the 33% of diet, sleep, and exercise, that is definitely going to give us the roga. Right, sir? So
Yeah.
how we can balance the sleep mechanism or the sleep, which is going...
Here is the key. Now the question is, we have a knowledge. First is understand the knowledge and then apply the knowledge. Now the question is, what we are asking, hey, I have the car, but I don't want to drive it. Now, if you have a car, you got to learn the drive and take it to the next place. Now, unless we don't, now let's understand first what will happen if we don't. Now we learn that if we smoke, we are going to get a cancer. That is 100%. Is that correct? Everybody knows about that. And those people are educated enough and they understand the smoke is equivalent to cancer. Same thing, not sleeping is equivalent to cancer. How? If you are not sleeping, what does the body do in the night? Is cleaning. It will find out where there is no repair, there is a problem, or some dirt is there because of your daily activity. It will take it and take it next day out of our body, right? Early in the morning. You don't sleep. Instead of 5 hours, you got only 3 hours. Body will not clean and it will dump it somewhere in the corner. And it keep dumping, and one day it will become a tumor or cancer. Okay, so that's how we forgot that traditional knowledge. Hey, we got to have a right amount of sleep, we got to have right amount of activity, and we got to have a right amount of quality diet, and then only we can have a better sleep, better outcome, overall outcome.
Thank you, sir, for taking out precious time from your busy schedule. Your insights and perspectives were truly valuable, and we were all thoroughly engaged by your presentation. It was a pleasure to have you with us, and your insights have left an indelible mark on all of us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I share my screen once again. I am profoundly elated to take an opportunity to introduce our esteemed co-chair, Dr. Vandana Shivaji Rao Nalawade, Principal, Azad College of Education, Satara. Dr. Nalawade has a wide experience of teaching UG and PG classes for more than 25 years. She is a principal for the past 5 years. She attended 9 refresher courses, 175 seminar, conference, workshops, published 28 papers in national and international journals, published 13 books as co-author and 2 books as an editor. She is MPhil and PhD guide at Shivaji University, Kolhapur. 1 completed, and 4 research scholars are pursuing PhD work under her prestigious guidance. She also guided 120 plus teachers for DSM, that is action research, 45 plus secondary school teachers. She got many awards such as Best Research Paper Award by MSSTEA, that is Maharashtra State Teacher Educators Association, Best Teacher Award by V.N. Langade Trust, Sumati Bai Patil Best Teacher Award by Siddh Ashram Trust, Best Principal Award by Gajanan Seva Bhavi Sanstha, and Sri Shambhu Mahadev Trust, Malshiraz. Dayanandayani Award, NCP Satara, dedicated, resourceful, and goal-driven professional educator with a solid commitment to the social and academic growth and development of every child. I welcome you, ma'am, to the Ctpdcon-Era 2023.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
We eagerly anticipate the insights and discussions that will unfold under your guidance. Please accept as a token of gratitude from the organizers of the conference this virtual memento.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. We now commence with the paper presentations. Let me reiterate and request the presenters to be concise and adhere to the time limit of 7 minutes for your presentation and 3 minutes for the question answer round. Without further ado, I would like to invite distinguished Chair Dr. Halliday to officially commence this session.
Yes, I agree. Please go ahead.
And respected co-chair, Dr. Shivaji Rao Nalavade, we look forward to your valuable contributions throughout the session and the dynamic synergy you will create with the chair, Dr. Halliday.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I request the distinguished chair and co-chair for choosing the best paper award. I also request the chair and co-chair to call the name of the paper presenters, or kindly permit me to do so.
Okay, we permit you to do so.
Thank
From
you,
my
ma'am.
side.
Yes, I'm okay with it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So I call upon the first presenter for this session, Dr. Renu Kumari. She is Associate Professor, Department of Education, Dr. ZHTT College, El Sarai, Darbhanga, and she will be presenting the paper entitled New Vision for India's Higher Education System in Context of NEP 2020.
Ma'am, I am unable to see Renu ma'am. I am unable to see Renu ma'am. If you are here, please raise your hands. And I request all the participants to rename yourself by your own name. Renu ma'am, please raise your hand if you are here. Or otherwise, we can go ahead with Mr. Girish.
I think we should continue now with the second presenter. If Renu ma'am joins us later, we'll give her time afterwards. So the next paper presenter is Girish Chandra Baheda. Is he present?
Yes, madam. Good evening. Actually, my co-presenter and co-author, Mrs. Priyadarshini, Pranati Priyadarshini is the line and she is requested to present the paper.
Okay. So, Mr. Girish Chandra Bahera, Assistant Professor in Odia, Teacher Education, Shaila Bala Women's Autonomous College, Cuttack, and Pranati Priyadarshini, Assistant Professor in Botany, Teacher Education, Shaila Bala Women's Autonomous College, Cuttack. For the presentation, I would like to invite Pranati Priyadarshini, and she'll be presenting the paper entitled Indian Art of Living, a Strong Message of Science.
Yes, sir, you can go ahead. Share, if you want to share your PPT, you can share.
Pranati madam, are you listening to madam?
Yes, we are able to listen to you, sir. You want to share your PPT? You can share it.
Pranati madam is going to share the PPT.
Right, sir.
Okay, I have upgraded Pranati ma'am to co-host. Now she will be able to do that.
Pranati madam, are you ready?
Yes, yes, sir. Namaskar. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening. This is Pranati Priyadarshini and Mr. Girish Chandra Behera jointly presenting a paper on the topic Indian Art of Living, a strong message of science. Is it visible?
No.
No, PPT is not being shared till now.
Okay. Now is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So our topic is Indian Art of Living, a strong message of science. We cover the following points on our paper: religious practice and spiritual virtue, salutation, power of nature to nurture spirituality, mental health influences physical health, traditional marriage system and science, traditional means of reproduction, law of taking a bath, eating pattern, position of eating, happy ways of sleeping, conclusion and references. Now, coming to the introduction, India is one of the oldest centers of knowledge. Our style of living is different from other parts of the world. The Indian knowledge system is the result of the experiences of thousands of saints for thousands of years. The Indian way of living seems like the practical works of great religious laboratory. The way of people of India live their lives is a subject of different scientific truths invented through unique experiments by eminent scientists around the world. So here we look how the living styles of Indians are scientifically proven to be beneficial regardless of age, caste, creed, culture, and social status. The essence of Indian way of living follows the principles of love for nature, love for God, love for truth, and love for mankind. What is the need of the study or relevance or significance? With the touch of the digital world, we are forgetting to explore the glory of the past. In the modernization or westernization of culture, if we fail to convince the young generation about the relevance of Indian ways of living, perhaps they will lose their path of highest attainment. It feels essential to make them understand the relevance of Indian ways of living on the basis of scientific facts and different relevant theories that exist in the world of knowledge. So let's try to understand the glory of the past along with the relevance of Indian ways of living to make us happy, healthy, and prosperous. Our objectives are to understand the advantages of the Indian way of living, to understand the Indian food patterns and their good impact on the human body, to realize the merits of silence and its effects on mind, to understand the process of salutation, to refrain from physical contact and external contamination, to study different scientific facts relating to the Indian way of life, to understand the relevance of Indian spices for good health, to study the significance of meditation and its result on the mind, to understand the metallic effects and wearing of ornaments, to know the principles of yoga and its effect on good health and peace of mind. These are the findings from our study. We know the cow dung is a natural disinfectant. It prevents the soil and the air. It pures the air and soil. Cow dung provides healthy environment by supplying oxygen and killing germs. It also used in incense sticks. Then giving salutation by joining our hands keep us free from infection. When we join our hands, it creates positive energy charges which provides the neurological well-being to the human body. Then the compositions and medicinal properties of plants helps in nurturing good physical and mental health. For example, we are taking tulsi or bay leaves after having a bath, Why? Because it's rich in vitamin C, vitamin A, which helps in curing different diseases like bay leaves helps to cure digestion, it controls blood pressure, cholesterol, etc. There are several benefits of banyan, osoka trees for which we worship them in different cultural practices. Indian marriage system strengthens the conjugal relationship. How this strengthen the relationship? In our practices, in our rituals, the psychological and physiological sanctity is maintained. So it develops adjustment and social skills, enhances physical health, mental health. Okay. Next, wearing of metals of appropriate weight and in the appropriate limb causes positive radiations. For example, if we wear gold ornaments in the upper part of the body, then it keeps our body warm. It enhances blood circulation. It reduces stress. And if we wear silver ornaments in lower parts of the body, then it keeps the body cool. It enhances memory. There are certain examples. For example, wearing gold mang tika enhances memory, and copper, silver has anti-aging properties. Okay, moving to the next slide. What are the recommendations? We should take food in sitting position. Why we should take food in the sitting position? Because while we take food in standing position, there is insufficient secretion of enzymes which disturbs the digestion system. Okay. Also, Ganesh sir has said about Rajasic, Sattvic, and Tamasic food. We should take Sattvic foods like fruits, vegetable, milk. In the morning, if we take carbohydrate-rich foods, for example, puffed rice, jaggery, then it enhances the secretion of amylase, which balances the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. If we take oily food, then it will create gas, bloating, etc. So eating spicy and fast food should be avoided. Then late night sleeping should be avoided to balance the disturbances in physiological mechanism of the body. Okay, so we should sleep early. Generally, we have to sleep after taking food, after 3 to 4 hours of taking food. Then how to develop good practices of sleeping? Using thin mattresses. We should use thin mattresses instead of thick mattresses. Why? Using thick mattresses will develop spondylitis. Okay. So for our joints, bone and spinal cord, we should use thin mattresses. We should take bath in a particular time, preferably before sunrise. There are several kinds of snanas in our Puranas. For example, yogic snana, Brahma snana. So we should take bath to purify our body and mind, preferably before sunrise. Then conclusion, we must protect the devaluation and undervaluation of the Indian way of living. Our attachment to God, nature, and spirituality must protect us from accidents, death, diseases, and dementia. Our education system should endeavor to develop good coordination between ethical spirit and scientific spirit among young learners. Finally, the attainment of spirituality is not a theory but rather an ideal practice that has influenced the Indian way of living since the primitive period. Now, I request my colleague Mr. Girish Chandra Behera to add some points if he likes to.
First of all, Pranati Madam and I are very much grateful to CTPD and all the organizers for this magnificent opportunity. One thing I want to include in this presentation, in the Indian way of living, we worship the nature, we respect the nature, we regard the nature. When we start our morning saying Karagre Vashate Lakshmi, Karamatya Saraswati, and we worship the soil, reciting Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Chamashwame, and go to bed with a very pious mindset, reciting Kara Charanam Kritamba Kayajam Karma Jamba Shravana Nayana Jamba Mana Shamba Paradham Vihitam Abhihitamba Sarvameta Takhamashwa Jai Jai Karunarthe Sri Mahadeva Shiva Shambhu. when we join our hands, then we have a good feeling in the heart. The hands are the symbol of work, and brain is the symbol of knowledge, and heart is the symbol of love, and it is the combination through showing or conveying complementation or namaste or namaskar. That is a combination. Life is a combination of knowledge, work, and spirit of love. So thank you very much. And saying Sarve Bhavantu Sakinaha, Sarve Shantu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashit, Dukkha Bhag Bhavat. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Pranati Priyadarshini, for your presentation. That was really enlightening. If anybody from the audience want to ask any question, you're welcome for the question answer round.
One question I have, Pranti
Yes.
and
Yes.
Gurish, you claimed a lot, many things, including the antiseptic, cow dung, and using the mattress thin and thick, and many others. What I would strongly suggest when presenting like this, you need to give our authentic reference to connect to that one. That helps us to understand, because these all our literature is available on the website as it is. But the question is now how we can prove really with correct reference, with the correct sentence till that point. And these references you put at the end, but if I kind of see rather than our original text reference, whether it is Bhagavatam or Puranam or anywhere. So if you give that original, that will be the best way to convey audience, hey, how this, I take this message as the two components, biological and psychological minds are the best united for our system. So I don't know if you have to describe in 3 words, what you suggest.
Exactly, we thank you very much for these kind suggestions. Exactly, we have some reference which we have included in the full paper. But as we have the time constraint and we have to be limited within these 7 to 10 slides, so we could not include all these references, keeping in mind the limitation of time.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the question answers, and thank you for answering them. Now I invite the third presenter of track 1.3, Dharna Halhotra.
Ma'am, before going ahead, I want to inform you that Renu ma'am is there, the first presenter.
So shall we take Renu ma'am first?
Renu ma'am, I have already made you the co-host. If you are here, please unmute yourself.
Renu ma'am, are you ready to present? Please unmute yourself, Renu ma'am.
Pranati, stop your presentation.
Yes.
Stop video. Hello.
Yes. Pranati, stop sharing the
Am I
presentation.
audible? I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, you are audible, ma'am, but first the presentation has to stop from the Pranati's side.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So we have with us Dr. Renu Kumari, Associate Professor, Department of Education, Dr. ZHTT College, El Sarai, Darbhanga, and she will be presenting the paper entitled New Vision for India's Higher Education System in Context of NEP 2020. Ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. I start my paper. The National Education Policy is policy formulated by Government of India to promote education amongst India's people.
Ma'am, you want to present your slide? You have a PowerPoint presentation? Or you will just speak
no.
like that? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And the policy covers elementary education in school to higher education in university and college in both rural and urban India. The announcement of NEP 2020 was unexpected by many. The changes that NEP 20 has recommended were something the many educationists never saw coming. The national education policy has impacted school and college education equally. This article mainly focus on NEP 2020 and its impact on higher education. Ma'am, the national education policy is the first education policy of the 21st century India, which replaced the 34 years old National Education Policy 1986. The first national education policy of India was formulated in 1968 by the government of PM Indira Gandhi on the recommendation of the Kothari Commission 1964-66 and second by PM Rajiv Gandhi in 1986. This policy is aligned to 2030 agenda, the sustainable development goal, and aims to transfer India into a vibrant knowledge society and global knowledge superpower by making both school and college education more holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary, suited to 21st century need. The aims at bringing out the unique capability of each student. The NEP 2020 aims to achieve 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030 and 50% GER in higher education till 2035. 3.5 crore new seats will be added to the higher education institution. Quality of higher education must be aimed to develop individuals who are excellent, thoughtful, well-rounded, and creative. Major problem of higher education system in current India. Some of the major problem currently faced by the higher education system in India includes a severely fragmented higher educational ecosystem, less emphasis on the development of cognitive skill and learning outcomes, a rigid separation of disciplines with early specialization and streaming of a student into narrow area of study, limited access participant, particularly in socio-economically disadvantaged area with a few health that teach in local language. Limited teacher and institutional autonomy, inadequate mechanism for merit-based career management and progression of faculty and institutional leaders. Lesser emphasis on research at most universities and colleges and lack of competitive peer-reviewed research funding across disciplines. Suboptimal governance and leadership of health, an effective regulatory system, and large affiliating university resulting in low standard of undergraduate students. Major policy reform to tackle above the problem. This policy envision a complete overall and re-energizing of the higher education system to overcome these challenges and thereby deliver high quality higher education with equity and inclusion. The policy vision includes the following key change in the current system: moving towards a higher educational system consisting a large multidisciplinary universities and college with at least one in or near every district and more health across India, and offer medium of instruction or programs in local Indian language. Moving towards a more multidisciplinary undergraduate education. Moving towards faculty and institutional autonomy. Revamping curriculum, pedagogies, assessment, and student support for enhanced student experience. Reaffirming the integrity of faculty and institutional leadership position through merit, appointment, and career progression based on teaching, research, and service. Establishment of a national research foundation to found outstanding peer-reviewed research and to actively seed research in universities and colleges.
Ma'am,
Governments
you may
of health.
conclude, please.
Yes, ma'am. High qualified independent board having academic and administrative autonomy. Light but tight regulation by a single regulation for higher education. Increased access, equity, and inclusion through a ranging of measures, including greater opportunity for outstanding public education, scholarship by private university for disadvantaged and unprivileged student, online education, and open system learning, and all infrastructure and learning materials accessible and available to learner with disability. Equity and inclusion in higher education. Making quality higher education opportunity available to all individuals is one of the form.
You may continue, ma'am.
Please continue, ma'am. Dr. Pooja, mute the participant. Okay.
Manji.
Renu ma'am, kindly unmute yourself. We are unable to listen. Renu ma'am, kindly unmute yourself. Dr. Renu Kumari ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
I have clipped.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Enhance access by establishing more highly quality HELS in aspirational districts and a special education zone containing large number of SCDGs. Develop and support high quality health that teach in local Indian language bilingually. Provide more financial assistance and scholarship to SEDGs in both public and private HELS. Conduct
Ma'am, please try to
outreach
conclude.
program on high
Ma'am, please try.
high education, higher education opportunity and scholarship among SCDG, develop and support technology tools for better participation and learning outcomes. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, kindly try to conclude because
Yes. Conclude, ma'am. Conclude. Uh, Focus on research. Only last point. Focus on research. As per the National Education Policy, a central body named National Research Foundation will be created to build a strong research culture and research capacity across different domains in higher education to enhance both the quality and capacity of academic research. The government will establish multidisciplinary education and research university at par with Indian Institution of Technology and Indian Institution of Management. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the
Thank you.
lecture that you have delivered. I ask the audience for question answer round. Any questions from anybody, participants, audience? From respected chair and co-chair?
I have one question, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just Renu ma'am said that there should be vibrant ecosystem for better implementation of NEP 2020, or by applying NEP 2020 there will be vibrant ecosystem. Can she explain how it can be created in schools or colleges?
Yes, Renu ma'am, can you answer?
Yes,
How it can be included in schools and colleges?
government cooperation. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay.
Can I comment one?
Yes, sir, please do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all the policies are there to, educate. But what I'm seeing is we are failing as an educator in the US in the med school. We have two components. We more focused on the either need or goal. Okay, what is my need? I just need to see something, or I need to teach, or that is my need. Because what is my goal? I need salary. These are the goals. But there is no learning oriented goal. Okay, I want to learn what is written in tradition system, how that traditional system can be experimentally proved, and those are the most authentic, and how they can be implemented, no matter whether it's education system, whether our daily life or research. How and I don't know, it's a really big picture, but I just want to keep that 3 points more clear, how we can enhance our from just goal and need oriented to the learning oriented, and then probably we'll solve many things, I believe.
Right.
I don't know.
Right,
Just
sir.
comment.
Right. You are right.
Yes, sir, very well said. Goal oriented to the need oriented to the goal oriented rather. Thank you so much, sir. I invite the third presenter of track 1.3, but before I invite, I request all the presenters to adhere to the time limit, because we have to finish this session on time. Otherwise, the session will prolong to a very long extent, and our honorable chair and co-chair would also have other commitments to look up to. So I invite Dharna Malhotra, PhD scholar, GD Goenka University, and Ms. Malhotra is presenting the paper entitled Indian Knowledge System in National Education Policy 2020, Scope and Challenges. Malhotra ma'am, are you there?
Ma'am, Miss Dharna Malhotra is not there. I think we should go ahead with Mehak ma'am's paper.
Mehak ma'am is here, present.
A very good evening. Am I audible?
All right, wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Mehak Chhabra is a research scholar from University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, India, and Professor Mudit Rathore is the research supervisor, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, India. The paper is being presented by Miss Mehak Chhabra, and the title of her paper is NEP 2020 and Indian Knowledge Systems, the Spiritual Preparation for Teachers. Yes, ma'am, now you may present.
First of all, a very good evening to all of you present here. And I would like to, first of all, extend my gratitude to CTPD organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge on this platform. So can I share my screen now?
Yes, ma'am, please do.
Thank you so much. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Thank you so much. So I'm presenting my paper entitled NEP 2020 and Indian Knowledge Systems, and how these both together bring about the spiritual preparation of teachers. So the basic outline for my presentation would be starting off with the introduction, which is going to highlight the objectives of NEP 2020. Then we'll come to Indian knowledge system and highlighting its key objectives. Then third, we'll move forward towards the spiritual preparation of teachers in NEP 2020. And then comes the conclusion. So
Mehak, can you put
yes.
Can you put your slides in a presentation mode, please?
Yes, sir. Wait.
Slideshow.
I'm not able to.
Ma'am, go to the slideshow next to animations. No, not here, ma'am. On the top bar, home, insert, design, animations. You see the slideshow mode?
Actually, I'm not able to see the tabs properly. Wait.
In the slideshow, you say.
Yes, sir. I know, but I'm not able to see the tabs on the top.
On your computer, you put the slideshow on your laptop.
Move your cursor towards the right-hand side. Move your cursor.
Okay.
Move it. Yes, on the top, little bit more higher. A little bit more higher, ma'am.
Balveer ma'am, if we have her PPT, we can.
No, ma'am, it's not with me. I don't have it.
Okay, you can exit. You can remove the.
Okay, that's fine. If it's not feasible, go ahead. Don't worry. Just to keep up with time.
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry.
No worries. No worries.
Okay. So the National Education Policy 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century, which is aiming to transform the entire education system and making it more holistic, taking about like all the aspects of reforms. So basically it was founded on the 5 guiding pillars of access. Access means to be available for the urban students and the rural students as well. Then comes the equity. It should be need-based. And then comes the quality, maintaining the quality of education. Then affordability, it should be affordable and reachable to all. And then comes the accountability, that all the stakeholders should take accountability towards the standard of education. The key focus areas and objectives of our National Education Policy 2020 is, first of all comes the universalization of the early childhood care education, which enables each and every child between the ages of 3 to 6 to access the high quality education to promote their holistic development. Then comes ensuring the foundational literacy and numeracy, so they can perform the basic calculations, basically. Third comes reimagining the curriculum, reconstruction of curriculum according to the need of the society and the current times. Then comes the emphasis on the experiential learning, that more and more experimentation, more and more observation skills should be developed of the students. Skill development should be there and application-oriented education should be provided to the students. Then is the integration of vocational education from the upper primary level to equip the students with the relevant skills which will be needed for their employability in future. Then there's promotion of multilingualism and the cultural diversity, which will encourage the use of mother tongue, local languages, and the national languages, so that the children are able to understand more because of the mother tongue. And then comes the integrating technology to enhance the teaching learning process, which will improve and make them digitally equipped. Then comes the focus on continuous professional development of the teachers to make them upskill, update, and upgrade their skills, knowledge, and pedagogical methods for effective teaching. Transforming the higher education to promote multidisciplinary education, flexible curriculum, and holistic development of the students, promoting equity and inclusion of all. Now comes the Indian knowledge system. So basically, the Indian knowledge system is a methodical transmission of knowledge from one generation to another. It is a well-structured system and process of knowledge transfer rather than the tradition. The Vedic literature, including the Upanishads, Vedas, and Up-Vedas, are all the parts of Indian knowledge system. The National Education Policy 2020 recognizes the importance of Indian knowledge system, and it aims to integrate it into its education system so that the students are able to be morally developed, have values. The NEP 2020 recognized the rich heritage of ancient and eternal Indian knowledge and thought of it as a guiding principle. The knowledge of India in this sense includes the knowledge from the ancient India, the Gurukul system, and its successes and challenges, and a sense of India's future aspirations specific to the education field, health, industry, environment, and basically all the aspects of life. The key aspects of Indian knowledge system in the NEP 2020 were, it basically emphasizes its integration into the curriculum at all the levels, from pre-primary to the higher education, to make students overall develop and be rooted in local cultural context. The NEP 2020 promotes multidisciplinary and holistic approach to education, wherein a knowledge system from various disciplines can be included for a better understanding of all kinds of subjects. The policy also recognized the importance of regional languages and its role in preserving the Indian knowledge system. It encourages the teaching of the regional languages, our literature, and folklore, in ensuring the continuity of indigenous knowledge. The policy highlights the significance of training and developing teachers so that they are able to equip themselves with the knowledge, pedagogical strategies to effectively teach and integrate IKS into the curriculum. Now comes the spiritual preparation of teachers in NEP 2020. How the National Education Policy and the Indian knowledge system can make teachers spiritually prepared for their teaching learning process. The spiritual preparation of teachers is a very important component in implementing the NEP 2020 and successfully integrate Indian knowledge system into the education system. It involves equipping teachers not just with the pedagogical skills, but also the deeper understanding and appreciation of India's spiritual and philosophical traditions. And this integration will foster a holistic and a well-rounded education for students. The basic importance for doing this are the teachers need to have a deeper understanding of the spiritual values. such as yoga, Vedanta, Buddhism, Jainism, in order to appreciate their culture, the depths of Indian wisdom, and effectively transmit it to their students. Through spiritual preparation, teachers will be able to cultivate the spiritual values, moral principles, ethics within themselves too, and also serve as a role model for their students that will contribute to moral and ethical growth of the students. Spiritual preparation will help teachers recognize the significance of holistic education, which includes the physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual aspect of the students' development, because the teachers who are spiritually prepared and spiritually intelligent will be able to create a nurturing and an inclusive learning environment which will support the overall growth of the students. By delving into the depths of Indian knowledge system, teachers would be able to develop a greater sense of empathy and compassion for their students. Some of the methods by which teachers can make themselves spiritually prepared are journaling. They can write down all the activities and what all they did in the classroom by doing a journaling. Then the mindfulness, self-reflections, how they taught in the class on the particular day. They can write it down in their diaries so that they are able to recognize their positives and the negatives. Now comes to the conclusion. The inclusion of Indian knowledge system in education and research India can tap into a wide reserve of indigenous knowledge that is relevant to the local context. The spiritual preparedness will equip the teachers with the ability to support their students emotionally and mentally, ensuring their well-being, and it will enable the teacher to transcend the mere transmission of knowledge and engage with students at a deeper level. At last, I would like to say the national education policy will only and only prosper when we all come together for making it successful. So the education policy will only be successful if we all are responsible for our actions in day-to-day life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mehak Chhabra, for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I now call for the question answer round. If anybody from the audience wants to ask any question.
Meg, you said like teacher need to be spiritually prepared. Now
Yes.
the question is, you said writing, journaling, and some of the points.
Yes.
So what do you mean by spiritually prepared? What the teacher needs to do exactly? What is the basis of that?
So here, being spiritual has nothing to do with being religious.
Yeah, I got that point.
Yeah.
I 100% right. But
Yes, sir.
I have thought like, okay, what do you mean by spiritual? What they need to do? Writing, journaling, you know, some people are doing that is long
Yes.
time. That's not the case.
Yes, sir.
But what do you mean by the spiritually? What they need to do exactly?
So basically, they need to spend time with themselves also, because being spiritually intelligent means you are able to introspect yourself. You are interpersonally also connected, and it means like you are self-aware. When you are self-aware about your nature and your emotions, you will be able to help the other students as well with their emotions. The teachers will be able to know like what the students are going through. They will have an empathetic attitude towards the student. So they will be able to relate more with the students rather than being just a strict teacher and coming and teaching and just leaving the class. They will be able to like have an empathetic relationship with the students, and there will be a good relationship between the teacher and student in the classroom.
So what I learned from our literature that any teacher need to have the faith in the system. That the first
Yes.
very ingredient to have a faith that whatever I'm teaching is the correct, number one. The second is the devotion. I have to devote my time that whatever I'm teaching is correct. And then I have to balance. The third component is the self-control.
Yes.
How much I have to force and how much I have to let it go. So I believe these are the three most special ingredients for the spiritual journey. First, if
Yes,
you don't
okay.
have a faith, what you are teaching is correct, it will not go over. And that tough teaching, that faith needs to be fueled by your devotion. And the last one is a self-control. You have to, again, balance it to what extent I can enforce and what extent let it go.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Very well said. Thank you, sir. The next paper presenter for this session is Shahala Naz, Research Scholar, Department of TTI and NFE, IASE, Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Ms. Naz is presenting on exploring intercultural sensitivity among students of higher education in India. Ms. Naz, you may start your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Is it visible, ma'am?
No, it's not. And please adhere to the timings. It's a request.
I'm sharing screen, actually. It's not going whiteboard. Share, just a second. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Now it has been shared.
Yes, we are able to see some paper here.
Okay, sorry. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is. Put it on
Okay.
slideshow mode, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, all. I am Shahala Naz, research scholar of Jamia Millia Islamia. I will be presenting on exploring intercultural sensitivity among students of higher education in India. This topic will cover introduction, purpose of the research, objectives, methodology, validity and reliability, data and findings, summary, educational implications, suggestions and references. Intercultural sensitivity can be described as an individual's capacity to foster a positive attitude that facilitates the understanding and appreciating of cultural differences. This positive mindset is conducive to behaving appropriately and effectively in intercultural communication. Experts from various fields is widely agreed that possessing such sensitivity is crucial for effective communication and positive interactions among individuals from different cultural backgrounds. Intercultural sensitivity plays a vital role in effective communication and positive interactions among students from different cultural backgrounds. With the increasing globalization and demographic changes, intercultural sensitivity has become an essential skill for students living in the diverse cultural environment of the university. This is primarily important in a country like India, which is known for its vast diversity in terms of language, religion, region, and culture. The need of intercultural sensitivity in this globalized world is becoming essential to maintain harmony and peace in personal and professional lives of an individual. Since Delhi is becoming a hub of higher education where diverse cultural background students come from different boundaries, that is national and international. Therefore, it has become essential to develop sensitivity among students, which will further help in preserving and expanding the culture of India, providing rich resources to the Indian knowledge system. The purpose of the research is to foster cultural awareness and an appreciation for the diversity of culture in a globalized world society, to enable students to communicate more effectively with individuals from different cultural backgrounds, to reduce cultural misunderstandings so that conflicts may not occur, to develop cultural competence, a valuable skill in many fields, including education, business, healthcare, etc., to encourage personal growth and self-awareness that would lead to greater self-reflection and development of students' personality. The objective of the study will be to find intercultural sensitivity among diverse background students, and to investigate and determine the significant differences in intercultural sensitivity level among different student groups, that is courses and gender in Delhi. The methodology which is used in this paper is it is a quantitative study, and it has in this research paper, cross-sectional design is used to present and interpret the data. As cross-sectional design entails gathering numerical data from a group of participants at a single point in time, offering a snapshot of a specific population or sample. It does not involve tracking individual over time, but rather relies on simultaneous data collection through survey and questionnaires. This data typically focuses on variables like demographic profile, attitude, and behaviors. Researchers selected a population or representative sample and through the analysis of this data using statistical techniques such as t-test to compare the data. It is a the questionnaire will be presented afterward. This is a self-constructed questionnaire. And this questionnaire includes 15 items divided into 3 domains of intercultural sensitivity. One is motivation to communicate, understanding of cultural sensitivity, and adaptation to different environments. 2 items in this questionnaire were adapted from Chen and Strotta's intercultural sensitivity scale in 2010, and others were self-constructed. The questionnaire focused on personal feelings and behavior towards interaction with people from different cultural backgrounds. The validity of the questionnaire was gained by taking suggestions from the experts. The reliability of the questions was tested through Cronbach alpha. A higher composite score indicated greater intercultural sensitivity between alpha 0.7 to 0.90. This intercultural sensitivity scale scored alpha. In this questionnaire, the intercultural sensitivity scored alpha reliability being 0.72. A group of 104 Delhi students were surveyed via questionnaire. The sample was drawn from snowball sampling of undergraduate students studying at 2 colleges in Delhi, one being a central university and another a private university. The respondent represented a diverse demographic profile, including factors such as gender, region, religion, language, course, and age. In this paper, there were 52% female and 48% male participants. And the average age of students was 21, starting from 19 to 26. The courses of the students who have filled the questionnaire were broadly divided into 2 parts, 2 categories: arts and commerce and science courses. 30 students were studying in arts and commerce courses like BA, BCom, and B.Ed, and 74 were studying in science courses like BTech, B.Pharma, and BSc. These were the questions, 15 questions, which were self-constructed by the researcher and on the basis of 5-point Likert scale. The finding of the study revealed that the question number 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 14 were comprehensive tool to assess an individual's intercultural sensitivity. The finding also revealed that in question number 1 and 2, students were unsure about the cultural preferences. Question number 6 and 15 indicated that students tend to look for similarities when making friends. On the other hand, question 11 revealed that students tend to ignore interactions when they are around peers from different cultural backgrounds. It is one kind of challenge in intercultural environment, as said by Samovar and Potter. Lastly, question number 7 showed that students find it challenging to build friendships, possibly due to their preferences for finding similarity and ignoring conversation with the students from diverse cultural backgrounds. The result of the t-test analysis with the significant differences of gender obtained p-value of 4.24 which exceeded critical value of 0.05 significance for the comparison between male and female participants. Thus, it was concluded that there was no statistical significant difference between the two on the basis of intercultural sensitivity. On the basis of course, the result of the t-test analysis indicated that the obtained value 6.51 exceeded the critical value of 0.05 level of significance for the comparison between arts and commerce and science courses of participants. The research found no significant differences between arts and commerce and science participants in terms of their intercultural sensitivity. Question number 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, and 13 and 14 represented the intercultural sensitivity among students, showing open-mindedness and respect the diversity towards cultures and students. However, question number 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 11, and 15 represented the limited sensitivity. These in the questionnaire, it was on the basis of Likert scale. It was divided on the two parts. Question in which students have agreed upon, in which the mean score was on the basis of mean score. The questions were divided into two parts. That is, which move towards sensitivity and the questions which have limited sensitivity. So on the above finding in question number 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 14 represented the intercultural sensitivity among students, showing open-mindedness and respect the diversity towards other cultures and students. Question number 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 11, and 15 presented the limited sensitivity among students in areas like cultural understanding, respect, differences, and communication.
So, all right, Ms. Naz, please conclude quickly.
Okay, interacting with students from diverse cultural background, particularly from country like India requires intercultural sensitivity. This is not only foster personal but also professional development. Appreciating and embracing diversity through intercultural sensitivity enables students to broaden their perspectives and expand their horizons. Conversely, a lack of sensitivity can impede communication and hinder relationship building, thus limited opportunities for growth. Educational implications. To counteract these biases, educational programs should prioritize lesson on the dangers of ethnocentrism, stereotypes, and the importance of diversity. Teacher can use these questions to initiate productive classroom discussion so that they can they can enhance sensitivity towards the area. The students who struggle to establish friendships across cultural divide may face difficulties integrating with diverse groups. Schools and institutions can provide resources and support to help these individuals and implement programs that promote inclusivity by highlighting the benefits of diversity. Future research could investigate the effectiveness of various educational and training interventions aimed at enhancing intercultural sensitivity. Additionally, research could examine the role of media, including social media and popular culture, in shaping individuals' perception of different cultures. This could include exploring how media influences intercultural sensitivity and how it can be used to promote cross-cultural understanding.
All right.
Thank you.
So I invite questions from the audience. Any questions? Ma'am, basically, I have a question to ask you. Basically, you developed a tool and you tried to standardize it. Why did you use the snowball sampling technique?
Because ma'am, snowball sampling, I was able to recognize. It was ensured that it should be. My questionnaire should reach diverse cultural background students. So I was aware that the questionnaire which I am sharing to have different diverse cultural background. That's why I have used snowball sampling. In my data, I have taken 104 students which are from various different cultural background. Since I am studying intercultural sensitivity, so it should use all cultural background students.
Yes, but snowball sampling is you could have done through some other sampling technique also. Why only the
It was,
snowball?
ma'am, if I would say random sampling, it would like anybody can fill the form, which will not ensure the differences, cultural differences of students.
No. Okay then. Any other question from anybody here? So the next paper is contributed by Parinka Sharma. Is she present, Parinka? Yes. She's a research scholar, Department of Educational Studies, Central University of Jammu, and Dr. J.N. Balia, Professor, Department of Educational Studies, Central University of Jammu. And this paper is entitled Role of Indian Knowledge System in Building Cultural Identity and Self-Esteem, a Pedagogical Perspective. Yes, Ms. Parinka Sharma, you can present your paper.
Yes, ma'am. I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening. Namaskar, sabko. To all the dignitaries, organizers, chairperson, co-chairperson. Myself, Parinka Sharma. I am research scholar at Department of Educational Studies, Central University of Jammu. And I have written this research paper along with my supervisor, Professor J.N. Balia from Central University of Jammu. My presentation is visible to all?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yes.
Put it on slideshow mode, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Presenters mode. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So the title of my paper is Role of Indian Knowledge System in Building Cultural Identity and Self-Esteem, a Pedagogical Perspective. Since ये बात इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम की हो रही है तो मैं यहाँ पर बायलिंगुअल होना चाहूंगी. आई होप दिस विल नॉट बी एनी प्रॉब्लमेटिक टू एनीवन ऑफ यू. इफ इट इज सो प्लीज लेट मी नो. एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट दी ऑर्गेनाइजर्स कि अगर मेरी स्लाइड्स कभी मूव ना हो या फिर मैं ऑडिबल ना हो तो प्लीज लेट मी नो इन बिटवीन माय प्रेजेंटेशन. My presentation will include these following points: introduction, Indian knowledge system and its significance, integration of IKS in education system, challenges in the integration of IKS into education, NEP 2020 reference, institutional climate and classroom pedagogy as per IKS, inclusion of local knowledge in the curriculum, teacher training perspective as per IKS, strategies for incorporating IKS into classroom teaching, conclusion and references. इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम जब बात की जाए तो ये भरपूर भंडार है नॉलेज का. हम आज G20 में बात कर रहे हैं वासुदेव कुटुंबकम की, सबकी वेलबींग की. तो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम जो कि इतना रिच है, इतना डाइवर्स है अपनी नॉलेज में, अपने ट्रेडिशन में, जिसमें ना जाने कितने हजार सालों पुरानी हमारा ज्ञान छुपा भरा है. लेकिन ये सिर्फ एक सोर्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, ये एक हमारी जिंदगी जीने का तरीका बताता है, हमारी वैल्यूज, हमारे कल्चर को डिपिक्ट करता है, सिर्फ हमारे इंडिया में नहीं, ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड में. इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम जो है वो एक होलिस्टिक और इंटीग्रेटिव पर्सपेक्टिव देता है, जिससे कि हम अपने जिंदगी को कैसे जी सकते हैं, अपनी जिंदगी को कैसे बेहतर बना सकते हैं, अपनी कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी को कैसे फॉर्म कर सकते हैं, अपनी सेल्फ एस्टीम को कैसे बूस्ट कर सकते हैं, ये सब हमें सिखाता है। और जिसमें कि मुझे लगता है कि हमारी जो शिक्षा है, हमारा जो एजुकेशन का रोल है, वो बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट प्ले करता है, जिसमें टीचर्स जो हैं वो सबसे ज्यादा जिम्मेवारी वाला काम करते हैं, क्योंकि टीचर्स ही वो एक ऐसा जरिया है जहां पे हम एक पॉलिसी को ग्रास रूट लेवल तक ला सकते हैं, जहां पे हम एक फ्रेमवर्क को, जैसे इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को हम आज के दौर पर फिर से अपने बच्चों तक पहुंचा सकते हैं। इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को वो एक फ्रेमवर्क प्रोवाइड करता है जिसमें वो लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग करता है अपने पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल लाइफ की। इससे हमारे बच्चों की कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी और उनकी सेल्फ एस्टीम जो है वो इस तरीके से पॉजिटिवली बूस्ट की जाती है कि ना ही वो सिर्फ अपनी सोसाइटी के लिए बल्कि हमारी पूरी की पूरी ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए एक बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा। अब बात आती है कि इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को हम अपनी इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम में कैसे इंटीग्रेट किए जाए। हमारे इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम वेस्टर्न सिस्टम की वजह से कह सकते हैं, या फिर हम ये कह सकते हैं कि कॉलोनियल पीरियड की वजह से कहीं पीछे छुप गया था। तो अब जहां तक NEP 2020 ने रेफरेंस दी है इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम की, और अपने हर फेजेस में ये बोर्डली कहा गया है कि इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में इंटीग्रेट करना चाहिए, तो जिसमें मुझे लगता है कि उनको बच्चों को बेसिक कंसेप्ट और प्रिंसिपल्स अपने इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के करिकुलम और पेडागोजी में लाने चाहिए, उनकी हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी वगैरह। अपने स्टूडेंट्स को हमें ये सोर्सेज और टेक्स्ट जो है इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के, उनकी ओरिजिनल लैंग्वेजेस में एक्सप्लोर करने देने चाहिए। रामायणा, महाभारता, अर्थशास्त्र, इन सबको एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए उनको इनकरेज करना चाहिए। स्टूडेंट्स को वो एक्टिविटीज और वो प्रोजेक्ट्स करवाने चाहिए जिसमें कि वो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को ना ही केवल जान पाए बल्कि उनको अप्लाई भी कर सके अपने कंटेक्स्ट में। हमें इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के एक्सपर्ट्स और प्रैक्टिशनर्स को बुला के बच्चों को डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन, वर्कशॉप्स वगैरह करवानी चाहिए, और हमें ये अपॉर्चुनिटीज देनी चाहिए बच्चों के साथ वो इंटरेक्ट कर सके, अपने कल्चर, अपने नॉलेज को लेके बच्चों को वो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम की अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एप्लीकेबिलिटी उनको सिखा पाए एक बेहतर तरीके से। पर जब बात आती है इंटीग्रेशन की तो बहुत ही ज्यादा दिक्कतें भी आती हैं आज इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम में, क्योंकि अभी भी इतनी अवेयरनेस नहीं है इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम की। आज भी हमारे पास जो फैकल्टी, जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स हैं, उनके पास इतनी ज्यादा अवेयरनेस नहीं है, उनके पास इतने ज्यादा रिसोर्सेज नहीं है कि वो एक जनरेशन से दूसरी जनरेशन तक हमारी इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम और उनके डॉक्यूमेंट्स को पहुंचा सके, क्योंकि बीच में कुछ दौर के दौरान हमारे वो जो रिसोर्सेज है वो कहीं लुप्त हो गए हैं। और साथ में एक और बात आती है कि हमारा जो सोसाइटी है वो इस तरीके से वेस्टर्न कल्चर को अडॉप्ट कर चुके हैं कि अब वो इंडियन कल्चर को कहीं पिछड़ा मानते हैं, वो उनको चेंज लाने में अभी भी हेजिटेशन है। वो हमें उनका व्यू पॉइंट चेंज करना पड़ेगा। अपनी कॉलोनियल लेगेसी की वजह से भी हम कहीं ना कहीं पीछे रह जाते हैं, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे वेस्टर्न नॉलेज सिस्टम को इस तरीके से हमारे आगे पेश किया गया था कि हमारे अपनी इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को कहीं नीचा दिखाया गया था। और वेस्टर्न नॉलेज सिस्टम अच्छी बात है, हमें उनको भी पढ़ना चाहिए, उनको भी हमें देखना चाहिए कि उनके अंदर क्या अच्छी चीजें हैं, पर इसके साथ साथ हमें अपना जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, नॉलेज सिस्टम है, उसको नहीं पीछे छोड़ना चाहिए। जैसे कि आज एक कीनोट स्पीकर ने कहा कि जब हम अपने घर के खिड़की और दरवाजे खोलते हैं तो वो इसलिए हर सुबह खोलते हैं कि हमें रोज एक फ्रेश एयर मिल सके, पर देखिएगा कहीं वो फ्रेश एयर आपके अपने ही घर को ना उजाड़ जाए। तो अपने वेस्टर्न कल्चर को पढ़ना एक बुरी बात नहीं है, पर अपने इंडियन कल्चर को एनकरेज करना स्टूडेंट्स में वो एक बहुत अच्छी चीज है। और सबसे बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है कि हमारी जो फैकल्टी है उनको ट्रेन कैसे किया जाए कि वो इंडियन नॉलेज के कोर्सेज ग्रासरूट लेवल तक लेके जा सके। और भी बहुत सारे हमें परेशानियां आ रही हैं, जैसे कि हमारे पास मटेरियल नहीं है इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम का। स्कूल्स में अभी तक गवर्नमेंट की इतनी कमिटमेंट भी नहीं आई है कि उन्होंने एजुकेशन पॉलिसीज तो लाई हैं, पर किस तरीके से उन एजुकेशन पॉलिसीज को, इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को करिकुलम और पेडागोजी में इंक्लूड करना है, वो अभी तक कुछ क्लियर नहीं हो पाया है। हमारी इंडिजीनियस लैंग्वेजेस, कल्चर, ये कहीं ना कहीं लुप्त हुए जा रहे हैं, वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा हमारे पास चैलेंज आ जाता है। डिफिकल्टी है कि हम अपने जो टीचर्स हैं उनको फिर से इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के अकॉर्डिंगली ट्रेन्ड और प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट लाया जाए, और साथ में उनको एक साइंटिफिक एटीट्यूड भी दिया जाए, क्योंकि इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम एक उस जमाने का दौर है जहां हम ये कह सकते हैं कि ठीक है, उस टाइम पे इंटरनेट की फैसिलिटीज, आर्टिफिशियल का इंटेलिजेंस का दौर नहीं था, पर आज के टाइम पर है। तो हमें उस दौर को आज के दौर पे को मैच करने के लिए हमें ना कहीं एक बैलेंस क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा, और वो बैलेंस जो है वो टीचर्स को बहुत सही तरीके से आना चाहिए। टीचर्स के साथ साथ पेरेंट्स को, लर्नर्स को, उनकी नेगेटिव परसेप्शंस को भी हमें दूर करना पड़ेगा। अब आती है एनईपी 2020 की रेफरेंस, कि एनईपी 2020 ने तो मुझे लगता है कि हर ही पैराग्राफ में इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम का रेफर किया है। जैसे कि पैरा 4.29 में उन्होंने कहा है कि हमें इस तरीके से रीडिजाइन करना चाहिए अपने करिकुलम और पैडागोजी को, ताकि वो स्ट्रांगली रूटेड हो सके इंडियन और लोकल कंटेक्स्ट में। और साथ में हमारा जो इंडिया है वो इतना डाइवर्सली रिच्ड है अपने कल्चर को लेके, अपने ट्रेडिशनल्स को लेके, तो हमें ये हमारी जिम्मेवारी बनती है, ये हमारे टीचर्स की जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि उन कल्चरल अवेयरनेस को, उनकी एक्सप्रेशंस को हमें अपने बच्चों तक अच्छे से पहुंचाया जाए, जिससे ना कि बच्चों की कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी फॉर्म हो सके और सेल्फ स्टीम आ सके, बल्कि उनकी प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट में हो सके। इसमें मैं इस बात जरूर कहना चाहूंगी कि जो इंसान अपने कल्चर, अपने ट्रेडिशन को बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से पॉजिटिव वे में एक्सेप्ट करता है, ग्रो करता है, उसकी सेल्फ स्टीम हमेशा बूस्ट होती है। मैं खुद एक डोगरा कल्चर से बिलोंग करती हूँ, जम्मू कश्मीर से बिलोंग करती हूँ, और मैं बहुत प्राउड हूँ अपने डोगरा कल्चर पे। इसलिए मैं चाहती हूँ कि हर बंदे को अपने कल्चर, अपनी आइडेंटिटी को कभी भी दूसरों के साथ कंपेयर करके लो फील नहीं करना चाहिए। अब आती है बात कि हम जो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम है उसको हम क्लासरूम पेडागोजी तक कैसे ला सकें, उनको हम इंस्टीट्यूशंस में कैसे ला सकें, ताकि उससे बच्चों की कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी और सेल्फ स्टीम को बढ़ावा मिल सके। इसमें बात करते हैं मदर टंग की। अब तो एनईपी ने भी कहा है कि मदर टंग जो है, होम लैंग्वेज जो है, वो बच्चों की प्राइमरी क्लासेस में बहुत ही ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण रोल प्ले करती हैं। तो मदर टंग बच्चों को स्कूल लेवल पे, प्राइमरी स्कूल्स में भी पढ़ाने चाहिए। और इंडियन आर्ट्स, म्यूजिक, डांस, ड्रामा, इन सब की कॉपरेशन हमें करिकुलम में लानी चाहिए। बच्चों के अंदर जो टैलेंट्स, जो क्रिएटिविटी है, वो बच्चों में इन सब में डेवलप करवाने चाहिए, जिससे बच्चों की अवेयरनेस, कल्चरल अवेयरनेस, सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट हो सके। हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा एम्फेसिस एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, एक्टिविटी बेस्ड लर्निंग, प्रोजेक्ट बेस्ड लर्निंग और प्रॉब्लम बेस्ड लर्निंग पे करनी चाहिए, जिससे कि हमारी जो लोकल नॉलेज है, जो ट्रेडिशनल विजडम है, जो कंटेम्प्रेरी प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, वो इंटीग्रेट हो सके हमारे टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस में। और साथ में हमें अपने एथिकल वैल्यूज, अपने मॉरल प्रिंसिपल्स, हमारे स्पिरिचुअल प्रिंसिपल्स को अपने पेडागोजी में इंक्लूड करने चाहिए। हमारे इंडियन थिंकर्स, फिलोसफर्स के जो कहने हैं वो अच्छे से हमें अपने पेडागोजी और करिकुलम में इंक्लूड करके उनको रिस्पेक्ट देने चाहिए। बच्चों को उससे काफी ज्यादा अपनी सेल्फ स्टीम बूस्ट होएगी। इसके साथ हमें
प्लीज कंक्लूड।
यस मैम, श्योर। नेक्स्ट इज कि हमारी लोकल लैंग्वेज की इंक्लूजन कैसे हो। लोकल लैंग्वेज में हम अपने कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स को इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं, लोकल रिसोर्सेज को इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं, लोकल लैंग्वेजेस को इनकॉर्पोरेट कर सकते हैं अपने करिकुलम में, क्रॉस करिकुलम प्रोजेक्ट्स कर सकते हैं, जिसमें हमें दूसरे कल्चर की प्रॉब्लम्स को भी एड्रेस होगा और रियल लाइफ सिचुएशंस को भी होगा। बच्चों की क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, इंक्वायरी स्किल्स भी बढ़ेगी। सबसे मेन बात आती है टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग पर्सपेक्टिव की। जो टीचर ट्रेनर्स हैं, वो टीचर एजुकेटर्स हैं, वो कैसे हो सके, क्योंकि यूजीसी ने जो है वो 2 रिफ्रेशर कोर्सेज और इंडक्शन प्रोग्राम्स जो हैं उनकी गाइडलाइंस दे दी हैं, ताकि टीचर्स की भी अच्छे से डेवलपमेंट हो सके। इस रिफ्रेशर कोर्सेज में उन्होंने मेन जो एरियाज कवर किए हैं वो है परंपरा, ट्रेडिशन, दृष्टि यानी पर्सपेक्टिव, लौकिक प्रयोजन यानी मॉडर्न रेलेवेंस। इन तीनों की वजह से जो हमारे टीचर एजुकेटर्स हैं, प्री सर्विस टीचर्स हैं, उनको इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के बारे में काफी ज्यादा ज्ञान प्राप्त होगा, और वो अपने जो पेडागोजिकल स्ट्रेटजीज हैं उनमें अपने इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को इंक्लूड करके बच्चों में कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी और सेल्फ स्टीम को बूस्ट कर पाएंगे। अब हमें ये पता करना है कि इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को हम क्लासरूम टीचिंग्स में हम कैसे कर सकते हैं। तो उसमें मैंने कुछ स्ट्रेटजीज जो हैं वो सजेस्ट की हैं, जैसे कि उनको हम हिस्ट्री और सोर्सेज इंडियन नॉलेज की हम बता सकते हैं, जो कि बच्चों को रिचनेस एंड डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम हेल्प करेगा अप्रिशिएट करने में, और उनकी बेसिक कंसेप्ट्स को बताएगा। जिसमें कि हम एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे ले सकते हैं कि हिस्ट्री आप मैप के थ्रू शो कर सकते हैं, स्टोरीज बता सकते हैं, या फिर जो डिफरेंट हमारे इंडियन स्कूल्स ऑफ नॉलेज हैं, सामख्य, योगा, न्याय शास्त्र, वेदांता, इन सबको हम जो हैं वो अब बच्चे जो हैं वो पढ़ सकते हैं, टीचर्स उनको पढ़ा सकते हैं, और हम कंसेप्ट और वोकेबलरी भी दे सकते हैं इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम की, ताकि बच्चों के अंदर क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, इंक्वायरी स्किल्स डेवलप हो सकें। वो हम कैसे कर सकते हैं कि हम उनको ये एक्सरसाइज दे सकते हैं कि वो ऐसे कुछ गेम्स खेल सकते हैं उनके साथ, या ऐसे कुछ पजल्स खेल सकते हैं, टूल्स खेल सकते हैं, जो हम बच्चों में डेवलप करवा पाएं उनके वोकेबलरी और आईकेएस एप्लीकेबिलिटी हम उनमें ला सकते हैं आईकेएस की, ताकि बच्चों की नॉलेज रियल लाइफ सिचुएशन में भी अप्लाई हो सके, जिसमें हम उनको फील्ड ट्रिप्स वगैरह करवा सकते हैं, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन दे सकते हैं, उनको कल्टीवेटिंग एथिकल वैल्यूज, मॉरल वैल्यूज दे सकते हैं हम उनको, ताकि उनका करेक्टर, कॉन्साइंस एंड कंपैशन डेवलप हो। उनको रोल मॉडल्स हमारे आज की जो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के हैं वो हम उनको बता सकते हैं, इंडियन थिंकर्स के बारे में बता सकते हैं, मेडिटेशन और योगा बता सकते हैं। तो इस तरीके से मैं अपनी प्रेजेंटेशन को यहाँ कंक्लूड करते हुए ये कहना चाहूंगी कि हमारे इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम जो है वो एक भरपूर भंडार है नॉलेज का, जिसमें हमारी कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी, हमारी सेल्फ एस्टीम को बहुत ही ज्यादा बूस्ट हो सकते हैं। और ये जो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम है ये एक जिम्मेवारी है स्पेशली टीचर एजुकेटर्स, प्री सर्विस टीचर्स के ऊपर, कि जिस तरीके से वो जो हैं वो अपन खुद सीखेंगे उसी तरीके से अपने बच्चों को भी सिखा पाएंगे। तो टीचर्स की जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि पहले वो भी कोर्सेज लें, और वो भी रिफ्रेशर्स कोर्सेज या जो भी कोर्सेज ज्वाइन करके अपने इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के बारे में पता करें, और उसके बाद वो ये जनरेशन टू जनरेशन जो है वो पास ऑन कर सकें। सो दीज आर माय सम ऑफ द रेफरेंसेस, एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर लिसनिंग टू मी।
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any question from the audience side? I encourage you to ask questions, please.
Priyanka, that's a nice talk. I don't know how to say that. Reading the slides in English and listening Hindi. So one eye and one ear is a little bit challenging, but that's it. अब तुम ये बताओ, ऐसी कौन सी 3 चीजें हैं जो कि अध्ययन करते वक्त, और अध्ययन मीन्स अध्यापक को और बच्चों को, या जो अध्ययन कर रहे हैं या जो अध्यापन कर रहे हैं
जी,
तो इन दोनों को समझनी पड़ेगी। 3 चीजें ऐसी बच्चा तुम बताओ कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है।
सर सबसे पहले हमारे टीचर्स को ये समझना पड़ेगा एक पीसफुल माइंड ही पीसफुल कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी को फॉर्म कर सकता है। तो बच्चों को मेडिटेशन और योगा की तरफ जरूर लेके जाना चाहिए। इवन टीचर को खुद भी प्रैक्टिसेस करनी चाहिए। अब तो मैं देख रही हूँ कि स्कूल लेवल पर रोज ही योगा सेशंस सुबह होते हैं, हमारे यहाँ पे तो होते हैं। तो एक सबसे पहले जो योगा जो है वो स्टार्ट करना चाहिए, बच्चों को मेडिटेशन प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट करवाने चाहिए। उसके बाद टीचर्स को खुद भी जो है वो एक सात्विक जो भोजन, चलो वो तो एक अपने बंदे की पर्सपेक्टिव के ऊपर आता है, पर सात्विक सोच के ऊपर जरूर जाना चाहिए। एक पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग जो है उसको अडॉप्ट करनी चाहिए। और तीसरा मैं कहूंगी कि अपने कल्चर को लेके एक हमेशा रिस्पेक्टफुल रहना चाहिए, वो चाहे वो किसी भी कल्चर से बिलोंग करता हो। इंसान, टीचर्स या स्टूडेंट, अपने कल्चर को रिस्पेक्ट देनी चाहिए। अपने कल्चर के लिए कभी भी शेमफुल नहीं रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक आपका कल्चर ही है जिसने आपको आइडेंटिटी दी है, और आपका कल्चर ही आपको आगे लेके जाएगा। किसी और के कल्चर को आपको अप्रिशिएट जरूर करना चाहिए, लेकिन किसी और के कल्चर से आपको अच्छी चीजें अडॉप्ट करनी चाहिए, पर अपने कल्चर को आपको पीछे नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद सर।
Thank you, Ms. Sharma. And now we have the last presenter in track 1.3, Clement John. Clement John. Is Mr. John present to present the presentations? No, I don't think that Mr. Clement John is here. So this brings us to the end of the session's presentations. There were 7 presenters, and out of them only 5 were here to present. 2 presenters were not present, and all the presenters were very well prepared. So we couldn't keep with time. I beg pardon from the chair for this in this regard, because the presentations were so nicely made, and the topic in fact is so wide that I don't know how to cut short this topic, but I tried to moderate and control the time as much as I could. We are indeed gaining a wealth of knowledge today. May I invite Dr. Vandana Shivajirao Nalawade to summarize the session and address the participants of the session. Ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. Namaste. In this CTPD India's first virtual international conference, that is Ctpdcon-Era 2023, our chairperson, distinguished chairperson, Honorable Dr. Ganesh Haladeswar, Dr. Balbir Kaur, Pooja Verma, and Dr. Rinath Tiwari, and all the participants, paper presenters who presented their valuable papers on the various themes included in this session. I congratulate all these paper reader presenters for presenting their views. That is new vision for India's higher education system in context of NEP 2020. There were 3 papers. In all, 4 to 5 papers, they were based on IKS and NEP 2020, but 3 of them were presented here. And I really appreciate the efforts which they have made to present our Indian knowledge system and correlate it with NEP 2020. The second paper was Indian Art of Living, a strong message to science. Then it was jointly presented by Girish Behra and Pranati Priyadarshini. Then a remarkable paper on NEP 2020 and Indian knowledge systems, the spiritual preparation of teachers, a very different perspective in the point of teachers, preparation of teachers, because I belong to teacher education institution. So it gives me so much perspective, vision to another co-themes in between this paper. So I congratulate both of them. Then the last but one paper exploring intercultural sensitivity among students of higher education in India, that is Shahal Naz, who posted on intercultural sensitivity. So, and last one paper, which was presented in Hindi, but very nicely prepared paper. The theme was very, I think, big theme was there. A very large knowledge is present in our system. She said that there are, someone said that there are no books or no material in present in our in about our Indian knowledge system, but we have to search. There is huge material present. We will get it in our Indian knowledge system and all these libraries and in our culture also. So it is very appreciable. So I congratulate all these paper readers and one I think Parinka said that Indian knowledge system is based on well-being of all. I think that is the best base or foundation of Indian knowledge system, that it values for well-being of others. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is our world. We will live together with universal values and empathy, we say. So our culture tells us about empathy. So Indian knowledge system is based on well-being, values, culture. It has a holistic perspective, and it has so many we say advantages that one can achieve or one can get from every cultural activity or every part of, as a part of culture. We can gain so much knowledge from our Indian knowledge system. So in this session, the points covered were, there was one paper on based on research also, meaning of Indian knowledge system, base of Indian knowledge system, structure of Indian knowledge system, what is inclusiveness of Indian knowledge system, how can we apply Indian knowledge system in our daily life, encouragement of Indian knowledge system, training of faculty in Indian knowledge system, and of course challenges in implementation of Indian knowledge system. And last one, that how can we prepare pedagogy, classroom pedagogy for fostering this Indian knowledge system into our students, our teachers, in our and citizens. So it gives a huge vision and perspective to everybody who participated in this session. So I'm very grateful to Ctpd India and all these paper presenters and our respected chair, Honorable Halade sir, for giving his inputs in I think in with each paper reader he interacted well, and we were good listeners at that time. So I must be thankful to him for his views. So ma'am, I am very thankful for giving me this great opportunity to hear, to share my views about some papers and of course about Indian knowledge system. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Your insights have been profound and shall serve as a guiding force to one and all in this session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
We eagerly await insights and reflections on the proceedings of this session. May I invite the chair, Dr. Halade, for the closing remarks.
Yeah, I really thank you for Dr. Kaur for keeping these all presenters on time. So though even we are delayed, but you know, you did a fantastic job kind of going everything smooth, taking their time, even though we have a challenges putting everything together and going on, some were present, some were not, delayed. But beyond that, the most important part, I learned a lot, my personally, because the changes I'm seeing, very positive changes. I see that it's more emphasis on the local, how they can use that local knowledge to the regional knowledge, and then it can be applied to the globally. So that is one component. The second component, what I learned throughout all presenters is I'm seeing a lot of challenges, the facing the challenges. But what I see is here by myself, the most important component is the knowledge is required only 1%, and the 99% is application. So now, once we learn the fundamental knowledge, the biggest challenge is who don't know that, okay, if we don't eat right, then everything goes wrong. So eating wrong, things will going wrong, that everybody knows. The question is application. Now, how we can encourage the next generation or the students to stick to the right component. So the knowledge is 1% and the application is 99%. So now the challenge, the Indian is like one of the Hindi presenters, see the Priyanka, भंडार है, तो भंडार हमें पूरा की पूरा सुनने की जरूरत है, पूरा की पूरा याद करने की जरूरत है, पूरा की पूरा अप्लाई करने की जरूरत है. We will be confused. हमें अप्लाई करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ना पूरा पूरा याद करने की जरूरत है. हमें देखना है कि which stage we are. Are we in a stage of, as a students, then what is the students of student dharma? If we follow very simple principle, if I'm a student, my dharma is learning. If I am an educator, my karma is a teacher, and that will bring a artha. So if you follow the dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, then you are going to get the fulfill what you want to do. And whatever the classification previously is done, like, okay, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, that was a very interpreted wrongly. So we classified Shudra as untouchables. But those Shudra means if they are not using their brain and only the physical power, then I will also become a Shudra the day I don't utilize my brain and only my biological body. Then I cannot talk in front of you. I have to do the work with the physical strength. So if the body is working with the mind, then we can be alike to the Brahman. But as soon as the day we start not using our brain or mind properly, we will start going down. So that's what our system is taking towards. And that's where the Indian system is very powerful. If I have to say in a conclusive way, that if we combine the body and mind together, that will help us to digest the Indian knowledge system very positively. And with this one, I congratulate all the presenters here. They did a fantastic job. And also, I like to thank you, Dr. Vandana Nalaude, for summarizing all the presenters and their findings, and everyone for my some interruption during the session that delayed some few minutes. So with this one, I would like to thank you and again appreciate for the invitation and entertaining me over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful closing remarks. Your words have provided us with profound perspective on the significance of this session. Before I proceed, I request Pooja ma'am to share the feedback link in chat box. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ma'am, I have posted the link. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to draw the curtains on this enlightening technical session at Ctpdcon-Era 2023, it is my pleasure to invite a distinguished individual among us to express our collective gratitude and appreciation for the valuable insights we have gained today. Professor Dr. Prarthita Biswas, Program Director, East Zone, CTPD India, and Professor and Research Head, Department of Education, Swami Vivekanand University, Kolkata, West Bengal. Professor Biswas is a distinguished scholar, teacher educator, researcher, and an author in the field of teacher education. She has more than 18 years of experience in academic administration and consultancy projects, India and worldwide. She is at present serving as professor and coordinator, doctoral studies in the Department of Education, Swami Vivekananda University, Barrackpore, West Bengal, Kolkata. Professor Biswas has also held senior academic and administrative positions in some of the reputed institutions of higher education in West Bengal. She was awarded with the prestigious South Asian Scholarship Grant from the Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. She is an editorial board member of reputed journals and is a firm believer of the lifelong learning process. Ma'am, we would be honored if you could deliver the vote of thanks and expression of gratitude to the speakers and participants and summarize the essence of this session. Professor Biswas, ma'am. Pooja ma'am, can you see Biswas ma'am in the...
Dr. Reena, I think... Hello, Dr. Reena is there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I think Dr. Biswas is not here in the meeting. So,
Okay, okay.
So I request Dr. Reena Tiwari ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Teacher Education, DAV PG College, Uttarakhand, to please present the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Balbir ma'am. I am audible enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
yes, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. It was really wonderful listening to the presentations, and I'm honored to deliver the formal vote of thanks in this particular session 1.3. I thank especially the chair, if I'm not wrong, Professor Nalwade, and the co-chair, Professor Halliday, if I'm not wrong.
No, ma'am.
I'm okay. I thank a lot. I don't have it written in front of me. And so I thank both Professor Nalwade and Professor Halliday for sparing their time, valuable time from their busy schedule. जब तक प्रेजेंटर्स कोई बातों को सुनने के लिए, उनको जज करने के लिए, उनके बारे में बातचीत करने के लिए और लोग ना हो, तब तक प्रेजेंटेशंस जो हैं वो अपनी पूर्णता को नहीं प्राप्त होते हैं. हमारे लिए बहुत ही सौभाग्य का विषय है कि इस ट्रैक में हमारे बीच में प्रोफेसर नलवाडे और प्रोफेसर हालादे जो हैं, उन्होंने अपना अमूल्य समय दिया. उन्हीं के साथ साथ ये जो ट्रैक है उसके कन्वीनर, को कन्वीनर, आप दोनों को भी मैं हार्दिक धन्यवाद देती हूँ. सभी प्रेजेंटर्स जिन्होंने अपना पेपर इसमें प्रेजेंट किया, जो मॉडरेटर हैं डॉक्टर बलबीर कौर जस्सल, आपको भी हृदय से धन्यवाद. मेरी तरफ से शायद नामों के द्वारा धन्यवाद देने में कुछ कमी रह जाए, because I was only attending this and was not expected to deliver the vote of thanks. So in case I missed some names, please pardon me for that. It was a wonderful session listening to all the participants. And I thank everyone from the core of my heart, as well as from all the organizers from CTPD India and Ctpdcon-Era 2023. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. As all good things come to an end in life, so is this remarkable technical session, and we move towards the end of our session. We come to the realization that knowledge indeed has no end. Today we witnessed an information symphony that will undoubtedly add value to each of our professional and personal lives. A big thank you to our esteemed speakers, panelists, participants, and organizing teams behind the scenes. Before we close, I'd like to remind everyone to enjoy the rest of the sessions at Ctpdcon-Era 2023. You are all requested to join our remaining tracks 2 and track 3 tomorrow, 2 p.m. onwards. Let us not forget that we are part of a larger community where our knowledge and expertise can make a significant difference. We look forward to seeing you again at our future events. Knowledge is a journey, not a destination, and each step brings us closer to new horizons. Let's carry forward what we learned today to make our world a better place. So keep hoping for the best and keep shining. And thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Have a great evening, everyone. Goodbye for now. Thank you. Please take a few
Thank you so
minutes to fill the feedback form, which is shared in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much,
everyone.
sir, and thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
ma'am.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. Participants
Thank
are
you,
requested to
Pravesh,
fill the feedback form given in the chat box.
Ma'am, are we supposed to disclose the names of first or second
No,
presenter?
no, not here. No.
You give it to the convener, ma'am.
Okay,
For
ma'am.
to your track convener, ma'am, please.
I request Professor Vandana ma'am to kindly give me or tell me the names who are fit for the awards. The first
Balbir
and
ma'am,
the
ask the participants to leave first and then you can discuss
Yes.
among yourselves.
Okay.
Yes, you can connect to
Vandana
Vandana
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. It will be
I
better.
can connect to her personally.
Thank you.
So I request all
I
the
will.
participants.
I just want to discuss with honorable chairs also for that.
I think, if I'm not wrong, ma'am, an honorable chair sir has already left.
Okay, then I will tell you the names. How many names we have to? I have to give you 3 or 1 only.
Reena ma'am, how many names are we supposed to collect?
Only 1, ma'am.
Only 1. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I request the presenters to kindly leave.
Himani Das is here.
Ma'am, I
think you can connect personally to ma'am because it is
yes,
YouTube
ma'am,
live
I'll
also.
connect with you personally, ma'am, on the WhatsApp or on call, if you permit me, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
That
you,
will
ma'am.
be
Because it is
better.
YouTube live. Yes.
Thank you so much for your nicely organization and giving so much inputs and all. It was a huge job for CTPD. You have done well done.
Thank you,
I'm
ma'am. Thank you.
speechless. I congratulate
Thank you so much,
all
Vandana ma'am.
team, all respected ladies in this team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
Dr. Pooja, you can end the meeting now.
Stop the recording. I will be stopping the recording and then.
Shall I leave now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja, ma'am. And we have Himan, one more. I'm sorry, I don't remember the names exactly. Thank you for the technical assistance which was provided in this track.
Thank you, ma'am. And Pravesh ma'am was always there in the track. And you did a really good job.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So I will be ending the session. Thank you, ma'am.